Hi guys, so welcome to organizing a list. So the organizing a list is part of our introduction to data science with Python series where we talk about Python objects, and these Python objects eventually make up how we use Python generally for data science. So here we are going to be talking about organizing a list. In our previous video, we talked about lists and all that. So if you haven't watched that, just check the video before this in the introduction to Python playlists, right? So here I have already created a list here. So you can see these are the lists. And basically what we are going to do is that we're going to talk about um, how a list can be sorted, right? Now, there are two ways you can sort a list. You can sort a list permanently using a sort method, or you can sort it temporarily using the sorted function. Now, the philosophy here is that lists can be created in an unpredictable order, so it's important that you get to maybe set them up in a particular order of your liking or whatever it is you're trying to do. So the first thing we're going to do here is that we're going to check out sorting. So here I'll call the first list that's created here, which is cars, right? And you can see the initial one here, and now we're going to use the sort. We're going to use the sort method or function, and we're going to sort this. So basically what we're doing here is we're sorting permanently. Forgive me if I spell stuff wrongly, right? So interesting thing is when you sort permanently, nothing happens. It just returns, it returns none. Like just in case you're thinking, oh, I probably want to use a print statement immediately. When I use this, right, you're just going to get none, right? So just know that, right? So once you sort it, just wait, and then you just go over here and print the list underscore cars, and so that you have, yeah, you can see that. So the list underscore cars, you have everything has now been reordered, and then you can see that it's been sorted. Another way, in order to change the order that if you want to revert to the order you had initially, right? It tells you, like, we can see the order has been changed. In fact, you could use lists cars the ID, I think, and no, what am I saying? Yeah, you could do that. You have your list underscore cars. We're trying to find out how do we even put the ID. Well, okay, that's trying to figure out the ID of the list, but that's another. Let's just leave that out for now. Um, just trying to do a curious stuff. So no. Or let's see, ID open bracket list cars. Right, that's what I wanted to do. So again, you can see that it has changed. I just wanted to let you know that in case you're looking at that permanent state of what it was, I didn't literally pick this up when it was in this initial stage. Probably would have just created it just to let you know that you have sorted it automatically. But this is what happens if you're looking at IDs and you're making changes to it. You get to see the changes has happened based on the ID number. They're like ID tags. They're like memory tags put on variables. So when they change, the tags change. So again, let's look at, we can also sort this list. We can use the reverse order. So we can use the reverse order here. You have reverse. We can sort this dot sort and in here we use the reverse true, and when we print this again, we list our cars again over here, and then we can see it has been reversed, right? But basically it's not, it's just like a reversal now, right? So I'm just curious to look at the ID once more. Look at the ID once more and see what happened there. So again, you can see that it's still maintaining its order in the sense that the Python in Python memory still sees it as that permanent list. So what you're now looking at is the view is what you see, but the initial one, we cannot pick it up, so it's permanently set up that way. So that's just one of the the conversation about it being permanent. Yeah, so that's that. So again, we can sort a list temporarily. So by sorting it temporarily, we're going to use the sorted function. So here we are going to say lists, but this time we're going to use clubs. So you see we have clubs here, and so to get that done, we would basically call, see that we can basically print it and say print and open bracket here. I could basically say here is a sorted list. So it's sorted. So that's basically what we're trying to do. So we'll print, and when we open the bracket, we're now going to call the sorted function, and then inside I'm going to put list underscore clubs. And again, you're going to see this has been sorted, right? But it still maintains its original order, because, you know, if there's list underscore clubs again, still what it is here, right? So that's one way you can have to do that. One other thing that's interesting to look at is we can also slice a list. You can also slice through a list. A few things you can do when you're organizing a list is that you can slice it, but this time around you're just trying to you know, extract certain elements from your lists. So and Python supports that idea. So call this list slicing. Right, so here we just change this to this. Oh, lovely. Right, so we have a list underscore cars, and with slicing we put square brackets, and there's also like a full colon in the middle. So now we have a start and we have a stop, right? So you can see, just to make it look so that we see what we're doing, this is list underscore cars. And you can see that there's a start and there's a stop, and a start is 0, because if I put this and I put 0 here, it starts with Volkswagen. And if I look at the last part of it, in fact, just so that we can make sense of what we're doing, I could put a number of elements inside, so it's 5, right? And so that means if I index any of the numbers, if I index 5, so I should basically, you know, see that I have a list out of range, because it's not 5 actually. It's 5 is basically 6 in Python, because it's 0. So basically the last one is 4, right? Oh, it's cars. Oh, nice. So it's 4. And so that's basically, if you look over here from the very beginning, you're going to see like this Audi. When we reversed it, Audi is the last. So now, so we can see that that's 4 there, but it's basically the 5th one, because the Python numbering starts from 0 to 4. Right now, so we have 0 here. If you don't put a 0 here, you're basically having the same thing. And if you put 4 over here, it's going to do a start and it's going to be a stop. Now the interesting thing about the start and stop is that the 4 is excluded. So that means if I call this, I have Volkswagen, Porsche, Jaguar, Chevrolet, but I can see that the Audi is excluded. So that's how this listing works. So you can use it to extract stuff from yours. You can see if I put 5, I probably want everything out. But you do know that it's not 5, there are not 5 elements inside. It's just that with the start and stop, 5 is excluded, so it brings out everything. Just think about listing. Think about lists as having numbers on them. So Volkswagen, starting from the very beginning, the Volkswagen has 1 and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one, if you start, you can still have it from negative values, and this starts from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So that means if I put the list underscore cars, I can now, if I put -5, no, sorry, that's out. So right, and so that means also if I now put 0, it's going to start. You can see what it does here. It's the same thing. It starts out that way. If I put 1, it's going to exclude this, and then it brings out just this tree. So that's how you walk around slicing your list. So here I'll call this copying a list, and it's interesting because I want to bring this in because it coincides with stuff. Now there is a copy method, which if I choose to want to copy maybe the list of cars, I basically would create a new list and call this list underscore cars underscore copy, and inside of it I'll basically pick out list underscore cars and say I want to get a copy. And what it does is that it gives me a copy of the initial list. Right, so with this I can now have list underscore cars underscore copy, and that's it, right? Now we can copy a list using slicing, right? So now I'm going to have another list. I'm going to call this list underscore copy. Of course, this is not so intuitive, but I'll just write underscore copy underscore slice, right? Forgive me for this, but I just want to show what this is about. So when I come over here, I'm going to say list underscore cars, and I'm going to put the square notation and the square bracket, and then you can see this, the colon is here. Now I choose not to check anything from both sides, no start and no stop. And so consequently what that means is that everything inside the list will be copied. And so here we go. So list underscore cars underscore copy underscore slice now has that, right? So that's that. I had to stretch through the finish line. So right, so we basically try to organize the list by sorting, and then we use the sort function or sort method to sort permanently, and you can also reverse what you have sorted, and it's this way. Then we thought about sorting temporarily, right? So let me put that here, temporal sorting, right? And then it's basically sorts it temporarily but doesn't make any change to it. Then we thought about slicing a list using this column notation here with the square brackets, and then picking out elements from a list using their index positions. Then finally we talked about the copy method, and also using this type of copy where there isn't a start or a stop, and it basically copies every element. I hope this helps you in your learning journey to be clever with it. There are lots of things you can do with it, right? And you just start to learn Python one object at a time. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.